きらりと光る星は何を考えてるの？理想と現実は渦巻いて絡み合うこの世界この世界は爽快のスタジアム点と点を結んだ線はゆらゆら完全になびいてちぎれそうでOnly you tonight月明かりを照らす夜空にアーチを描く遠い場所で泣いているあなたへと伝えたい私だって同じだよ純粋な心からにじみ出すこの想い詰め込んで届けるから遠く遠く離れてもつなげているからあなたの呼ぶ声に耳を傾けながら私の想いの全てを届けたいから星の降る夏の夜空にアーチを描くポケットにしまい込んだビー玉と言葉忘れて見上げたあの流星憧れも曇り空も全部抱きしめて走り出す目を見るだけじゃわからない気持ちも夜空に向かういつものこの場所で同じ
Hello, everyone. Sorry about getting in a little bit late. We needed to find someone real quick in order to cast this match. And alas, I will be Trex casting this match for you guys of North Carolina versus Virginia A. Now, we've already done bans, and we're getting into our first pick of No Mod 5 here. Currently, we have 3 FCs on the side of North Carolina, but as I say that, Calculus is going to be dropping the FC. Now, on the side of Virginia A, 2 of their FCs are already down, so it's going to be 1 FC versus 2. And then Woster also going down. Noob and Sidetrack today going to be the only full combos left in the lobby already. Calculus on a good recovery combo here. But Dancor is going to be building up a nice little score, and as I say that, going to be dropping it, and this is going to very slightly favor the side of North Carolina here, just due to the accuracy. And then Sidetrack today is going to be dropping the last FC on the side of Virginia A, as we're about halfway into the map. If you have any hope for Virginia A on this map, you've got to hope that Noob is going to see maybe that he's the last FC remaining and potentially break on some of these burstier sections on this No Mod 5. There is still more than enough combo in order for Virginia to pull that back if Noob lets go of this death grip that they have on this No Mod 5. And even then, even if that happens, Calculus, minus that first little break, they're going to be building that combo back up here. Definitely hugely Virginia favored at the moment, and Noob is just unwilling to let this FC go. And I mean, just a crazy score happening right now. Gray going to be having the highest accuracy in the lobby, but due to that early drop in the map, not going to be able to do too much for their team there, and No Mod 5 is going to go to the way of North Carolina A. Really, really good scores from all around the lobby. Dancor Danny going to be having the S rank, just finding some slider breaks on some of those kick sliders, which, I mean, happens. It's a good score, though. Gray going to be showing a 2 miss, and Calculus with that 1 miss just in the very beginning, score capping to 600k, but that's what you have Noob for, right? That guy's just going to combo out of his mind. And, oh, I was unaware, but that's actually a break point on the side of North Carolina. Now that I'm going to be aware of the picks going on here, that is a great way to start the match if you are a North Carolina fan. And what do we think North Carolina could go for here? North Carolina going to be banning the DT2 and Hard Rock 2, so obviously showing that on that ultra precision they're not going to be super comfortable. So maybe I'm expecting to not really see a flex mod pick, but I would love to see, I mean, what do we want to see here? Let me make sure that I get my pool list up so I'm not spreading any false information. And as I say that, I'm going to be picking Hidden 3. Hidden 3, in my opinion, one of the best, the best maps in this pool. It looks really fun to play, and I am very upset that I'm not a hidden player for my team, so I will not be able to play this in my match, but I am just happy to see this map played. This map looks super fun. Now, notably, this Hidden 3, from what I have seen, It's very control oriented, tech style. And in this hidden slot, tech, obviously, you're going to have some aim drops for people who might be dropping some of the sliders a little bit too early, who aren't necessarily that comfortable on the hidden mod if you need any fill players for this pick. But considering it's going to be North Carolina's first pick, I'm assuming all three players are going to be more than comfortable on this pick, or at least they think that they're going to be performing better than Virginia A on this hidden pick. I'm expecting to see, Steved, Sidetrack Day, Pi is the best in for Virginia, Convex, Woyster, and Calculus, which I believe Calculus is Cooper. Let me just double check that. Yep, Killing Cooper. But I will be calling him Calculus for the purpose of this cast, just to keep it all good. And this should be the rosters. Good luck, have fun's coming out, and we'll get right into this hidden three. Again, probably the most aura map in the pool. Absolutely love this. We are going to see a early slight accuracy lead on the side of Virginia A, but so early into the map that, yeah, not going to be mattering too much into these long-term scores, especially with accuracies overall expecting to get dropped here, as we see Steved and Convex finding some misses, followed up by Calculus. Pi's the best had a Bancho miss, which luckily I didn't commentate at that point, huh? And Pi's the best going to be the only FC remaining on the board. All of North Carolina A has dropped the FCs. Pi's best actually A rank. I was lying about the FC. I guess they must have missed on some of those very, very early notes without looking at it. But suffice to say, they are holding the highest combo in the lobby by a factor of 2 at the very least. Really carrying a nice score lead into the team of Virginia A here. A Sidetrack Day going to be finding another miss, and North Carolina going to be building up some of those recovery combos. Feeling more comfortable. Well, not even on the accuracy. The accuracy lead is in Virginia's favor as well. Sidetrack Day going to be finding another miss here as we get into this difficult section, whereas North Carolina looking so practiced and so clean on this control tech section. They're going to be eking out a score advantage as long as they don't miss. And Woyster's going to be finding a number of misses here. Convex and Calculus versus Pi is the best. And as I say that, Convex dropping. Calculus versus Pi is the best. Pi's the best, basically on that FC still, pulling this into the team, into Virginia, building up that score lead up to 200k, finally falling, but so does Calculus. No scores to match Virginia here with Steved highest combo in the lobby. We might be seeing back-to-back breakpoints. I won't say it's not impossible for this go back to North Carolina, but this 200k lead is very, very comfortable for Virginia here. As Steve just looking so comfortable into this ending, not dropping that, finally dropping at the very end, but the work has been done. Pi is the best, really putting in that work. Team on the back, holding that combo into that difficult section. And that's going to be back-to-back breakpoints. Happens. GG, go next. You know what I mean? Really good scores all around from the side of North Carolina, really showing their comfortability, but Pi is the best, really just going absolutely crazy for their team, getting that breakpoint back. And we will be getting into a Virginia pick here. Now, Virginia showing that they can play that hidden, they can play that tech, and they need to be respected on it. Maybe you could roll this into a potential another hidden pick, but I don't know if that would be the best idea against North Carolina. North Carolina doing very, very well for themselves. Let me pull up those qualifier stats real quick. And just double check. Yep, North Carolina feeling relatively good on some of the hidden. They didn't do too great on the hidden two. Seating highly on the easy one, though, versus Virginia A. Let's double check that. Yeah, Virginia A not looking as strong on the easy, but looking a little bit better on the hidden two. Maybe we could see a potential hidden two pick here, but this hidden two is going to be all memorization all the way down. Its mechanics are very limited, but no, we're going to be getting the no mod 2 pick here. Going to be going straight into tapping. Now, this no mod 2 feels pretty evil. It's pretty similar to our round of 16 no mod 2. In a sense of it's mainly going to be focused on flow aim streams with not a particularly heavy emphasis on the stamina in that aspect, although it's not going to be as flip-floppy with its aim is the best way to describe it, the changing of the aim there. And this no mod 2, 192 BPM, it's not particularly high BPM and also a pretty short map, so there might be some players you might not expect on the tapping in here. I'm expecting my goat. Sidetrack Day, I might expect in here, perhaps. Gray, I would very much expect to be in here. And Alex the JPEG, I could see it. And yeah, looks like my prediction coming to fruition here. And on the side of North Carolina, we're going to be seeing Calculus, aka Killing Cooper, Varka? I'm very sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that off the top of my head. I'll go with Varka for the rest. And Noob, going to be rounding out that third slot. And we're going to be seeing the GLHFs come out here. And starting this no mod 2, one of the shorter maps in the pool. This will be great to see as both these teams are looking pretty strong on all of the picks that we have seen so far. And relatively close despite what the score difference might tell you. Just a one miss here or there does change the entire course of those first couple of picks. As we're seeing some players start a little bit early as the tournament clock needs to catch up. Everyone hold up and wait. Noob and Gray got a little ahead of themselves. Yeah, all players showing a relative amount of comfortability. Varka going to be the lowest accuracy currently in the lobby, dropping quite a number of 100s, but that will definitely happen when the map just starts right away, as we see that they are showing quite a bit of comfortability at this 192, as Noob is going to be our first miss for this map, with the triple FC still being held on the side of Virginia about a quarter way through the map, but we really start seeing the map kicking up in difficulty towards this halfway point is when it really starts kicking into overdrive right after this break. And Varka going to be getting caught up on that little aim section. Really tragic here, as only one FC is going to be on the side of North Carolina, and this score lead is just going to be shot crazily into Virginia. But as I say that, we get a double break on the exact same pattern. It's just Gray versus Calculus here. One FC to the other, but Virginia having those built-up recovery combos. Noob is going to be a difference maker. And as I say that, Noob dropping... And no combos on the side of Virginia other than Alex the JPEG. Just Calculus with the sole FC remaining on the side of North Carolina A, as Gray found a miss on some of those harder control patterns. And we're seeing it slowly inch its way over. Does it inch? Does he get it? The FC does not get it. Virginia win the no mod 2 despite North Carolina having the FC. There was not enough combo left. The accuracy was not in their favor. Really, really valiant effort from Calculus slash Killing Cooper here. Really good score on the FC, 97 FC, but the higher general accuracies on the side of Virginia A really going to be taking them home by only 20k points. And we're going to be seeing our first non-break point of the match. All right, and now after that craziness happening, a little bit of calm after the storm, we're going to be on North Carolina's pick here. What might I expect to see from North Carolina? Obviously, they won that No Mod 5 speed pick. We could see a potential pivot into one of the DTs, perhaps, banning out the DT2. Maybe perhaps more of a finger control-y team or flow control, as we saw Killing Cooper feeling quite good on the flow by FCing that no mod 2. Maybe a pivot into a DT3, maybe a DT4 here. I wouldn't be upset about maybe a no mod. I was going to say no mod 4 or 3, but they did lose on the hidden tech. Easy one. This map is... I've heard a lot of things about this map. Unfortunately, I personally am not very well versed on the hiddens of most pools or the reading picks of most pools, which would include this easy one. But I have not heard that this is a particularly easy map. All of my players in my state, at least, have been complaining about how it is quite a bit more difficult than the last rounds. So I'm expecting North Carolina to do pretty, good on this. They seeded well above Virginia on the qualifiers easy, but also, in my opinion, that qualifiers easy is probably going to be a little bit easier than this easy. So we may see some of that comfortability going away, but clearly feeling quite confident on it. Not necessarily an insta pick, but likely giving some of their players some time to play and figure that map out and make sure that they get some nerves out the way. We're seeing the good luck have funs come out as Convex is trying to get a good time. And we're going to be seeing the rosters of Oyster, Noob, and Calculus, otherwise known as Killing Cooper, followed by, on the side of Virginia, Sidetrack Today, Dan Cordani, and Alex, the JPEG. Yes, I can see the triangles that we are talking about now, Chad. We are going to be seeing some early breaks from Noob and Dan Cordani, as well as act drops, but those act drops are going to be favoring the side of North Carolina just so slightly, eking out a 10k point lead. Yeah, Dan Cordani not doing too bad on the easy pick, despite the surprise from some people in chat. This guy kind of just looking like our all-rounder GOAT, as we are kind of at an equilibrium right now. Very little score being gained. But as I say that, Sidetrack Today going to be finding a miss right before this really hard section starts to kick into high gear, while Calculus and Oyster are going to be holding onto their FCs through this tough pattern. Sidetrack Day going to be showing a couple of misses here for the side of their team, as a 90,000 point lead has been eked out into the side of North Carolina A. Danny gonna be holding on to a really good recovery combo. As Woeister is going against one FC and one basically FC. It's gonna be swapping. Is there enough time left? Oh, those act drops are not helping out North Carolina, and we are going to be seeing the easy one barely going to the side of Virginia A by only 40,000 points. Dan Cordani really pulling it through with that recovery combo, just that early miss, as we see the FCs on Woeister and Alex, the JPEG, going to be showing the FCs on the easy. Really, really good from both teams. That map is, I've heard, pretty freaking hard. That map is not very fun to go in on if you are not necessarily the most comfortable on that easy. So great scores from both teams there. Now Virginia going to be up a break point going into their own pick. Can they be solidifying this break point? We shall see, as perhaps we can try and figure out what they might be picking here. Now for Virginia A, I mean, all of these picks have just been so contested. All of these picks have been fought tooth and nail, clawing against each other in order to get these points here. Maybe I could potentially see a no mod 3 pick. Does you see a Force Mod 1 coming out? Now, Force Mod 1 for the quarterfinals. I'm not per se expecting any easy picks coming out here, but if there is an easy pick, just keep in mind that there will be a multiplier of 2.1x of the score, so it will be one of the more impactful mods if we do see it come out, although that 2.1x is there for a reason. It is quite the difficult map, as it's going to be mainly snap alt control focused. 132 BPM, but that number is deceptive, as it never is quarter notes, really. It's a lot of thirds and halves as far as I know. So that's going to be a deceptive BPM, but it will technically lower BPM, and a little bit under 3 minutes in drain time, which ends up being around average length for this map pool. And we currently have North Carolina's of Oyster, Noob, and Calculus, followed up by, on Virginia's A side, Gray and Alex, the JPEG. And looking like Dan Core Danny might be showing up here for this Force Mod 1. For mods, let's see. I'm expecting Woeister to be on maybe Hidden Hard Rock, potentially? Not really sure. Calculus, maybe. Calculus on the Hidden. Okay, so they're going to be Woeister on the Hidden, Calculus on the Hidden, Noob on the Hard Rock. I got a little peek there. Gray on the Hard Rock, Alex the JPEG on the Hard Rock, and Dan Core Danny on the Hidden. Now, this is going to slightly favor in an alternate universe where we have 6 total FCs on this map. The mod combinations will favor Virginia A just slightly compared to North Carolina A due to the double Hard Rock versus the double Hidden. But on this map, I would not go with the expectations that we are going to be seeing 6 FCs, as we're having a little bit of Bancho lag waiting for us to be able to see what's happening in this match. Ban show preventing us from seeing the first quarter of the map, but it looks like not much has changed. We still have currently 6 FCs with a pretty hefty accuracy lead on the side of Virginia, with Danny and Alex, the JPEG, going to be having pretty high accuracies over the entire state of North Carolina here, which is going to be eking out about a 60,000 score lead as we are running into some more lag. I mean, this is just classic Bancho. All right, let's see. So as we can see, we're getting information that 2 on North Carolina have broken currently, with the only trade on the side of Virginia A going to be gray here. It's going to be 2 FCs to 1, with the Virginia being favored. And they are just ruthless. I do not see any signs of crazy nerves on the side of Alex, the JPEG. Dude is just goated. Although he did have to circle back to hit that one note on the slow section, but luckily no one getting caught out there, as we are getting quite a large score lead built up in this slow section just due to the double FCs. No one getting caught out on the slow slider. That's good. All these players have practiced this map at least a little bit. And we're getting into the diff spike, and Alex going to be the first to break. Now, that's not the worst, but then Danny is going to be following it up, and a full reset from the side of Virginia A, while Calculus killing Cooper, going to be holding on to this hidden FC. His 2 teammates break, but Cooper holding on and finally finding the miss. And I think that that is going to be the death nail for this map at the very least, as there's just not enough combo to make that up, and Virginia going to be solidifying their breakpoints. Both teams exploding towards the end there. Dear Cooper with that S rank and highest score in the lobby. I mean, what more can you do? Really valiant effort from both teams there, as Virginia going to be up 4-1 versus North Carolina. North Carolina going to get their pick now, though. Now, man, what can we see here? What can we expect from the big North Carolina? Now, notably, this is going to be a losers bracket match in 5USC, so we are putting up everything on the line here. Virginia coming off of a 6-1 victory against Tennessee A. And a Nomad 4 pick, going to be on that tech. This is a pick that I perhaps suggested a little bit earlier, because they are quite strong on that tech, but getting the breakpoint on the hidden 3, although that could be perhaps some of your tech players maybe not the most comfortable on hidden versus that Nomad. But yet again, another banger song. This map set is awesome. This is just awesome. Now it's going to be a Mirrors Extra, which means that it's like not going to be crazy super heavy on the it's like kind of what I would call light tech. It's nothing super crazy on the tech. You guys are going to be waiting to get that MP3 loading as we keep listening to, I mean, Force Mod 1's pretty banger as well. Not upset about having to listen to this song either. I will say I am a relatively big fan of most of the songs in this pool. I do think that the songs in this pool are pretty just overall good. I like them. Sue me. Whoa. There we go. Yeah, no mod 4, I don't absolutely hate as a pick, but this is definitely a gamble, for sure. As pretty much all players are going to be going out, trying out the first little bit of this map, running down that timer. Noob and Steve just sitting in lobby, probably watching out for timer for their team. Maybe they will play. Sometimes we do that. As the beginning of this map can be a little bit tricky to get into the rhythm/groove, so might as well take some time, use that timer up in order to go out, play a little bit of it solo. Make sure that you're nice warm on it, feeling good on it before getting right into the match. Yeah, I guess while I'm waiting, might as well talk about some of the stats of the map. 144 BPM, lots of like little bursts in it, usually limited to like, I mean, anywhere from 3 to 5 notes majorly. You might see some longer bursts of like potentially 7 notes in there, I think, occasionally, but nothing super crazy that could maybe speed cap some of these guys. All of them should be able to play pretty well if you're going to be a tech player. With close to a 4-minute drain, just 2 seconds off of 4 minutes. And I believe that that is our second longest pick in the entire pool. Longest map that you can pick. As tiebreaker, obviously, minimum of 5 minutes long. And yeah, good luck, have fun's coming out, as we're going to be seeing on the side of North Carolina A, Calculus, Noob, and Convex, versus Virginia A of Steve, Sidetracked Day, and Pi is the best returning. Yeah, and we saw a bit of a timeout called from the side of North Carolina in order to maybe get some nerves reset. You know, just lost another break point that got solidified, and you're about to go into the longest map that you can pick in the map pool against a team, which has just been looking like they're on fire, as we're going to be starting getting into the real part of this map. Quite a number of longer sliders, which if you're not so well versed in the tech, you will be dropping quite a number of 100s on. As we'll wait for Bancho to catch up a little bit, we do see a early lead on the side of Virginia. Nothing super crazy, about 30,000 points from what we last saw. But as we're about halfway through the map, we'll be getting a much better idea. And in that time, I guess Sidetrack today and Steve finding misses, whereas the entire side of North Carolina is going to be holding on to this FC. Pi is the best, going to be the only FC on the side of Virginia. And they're going to see this break. They're going to see the triple FC, and they're mental. They've got to be over the freaking moon here. Yeah, notably 99.5% accuracy on Pi is the best on this no mod 4, just showing how comfortable and goated they are. Now, Calculus going to be the first to miss on the side of North Carolina A. And that's the first step to starting to claw this point back, but at 300 score lead, and they are just looking dominant here. They are not going to be giving this pick back up. Even if the entire side of North Carolina just misses, yeah, what can you do? Double FC from Calculus and Noob with a really good backing score, 500k from Convex. Whereas Virginia, I mean, let's just appreciate Pi is the best play right there. That is, I mean, highest AC in the lobby, 900,000 score with a 1 miss. So just the accuracy alone making them highest score in the lobby. Just unfortunately, maybe not having that comfortability backing them up on those backup scores. But also, I mean, what are you going to do against a double FC on that no mod 4? There's no more that you could do if your Pi is the best, and you did as best you could. And after that play, I mean, you did lose to a pretty dominant fashion, but yeah, pretty much an instant DT3 pick from the side of Virginia A. They are feeling confident in this DT3. It's going to be quite finger controlly, with a little bit of tech, and somewhat heavy on the reading. I say heavy on the reading, but it's nothing super crazy. We're expecting all of these players to have at least played the map one time before, so nothing where hopefully that they're going to be getting surprised on in match. But yeah, some stats for DT3. Going to be 258 BPM at only 1 minute and 49 seconds long. And after DT, the AR is going to be 9.7, so it's not high AR as of yet. This 9.7 is kind of the AR that is most comfy for the vast majority of OSU players across the spectrum. So that high AR reading gap for some players who might have not going to be coming into play here, as it looks like we're getting rosters confirmed of Calculus, Noob, Woeister on the side of North Carolina. And then for Virginia, Gray, Pie's the best staying in, and Sidetracked Day. As we see the good luck, have fun's coming out for this DT3. Pretty short map. Again, going to be mainly finger control. And Virginia probably feeling pretty strong on this with the insta pick almost. All right, everyone, hold up. Wait for Noob, Woeister, and Gray to catch up, guys. You guys can't be skipping this. That's an important part of the map. Yep, this intro just going to be pretty chill. Nothing super crazy. But it's going to very quickly start getting pretty out of hand. All players seem to be holding pretty well. Pie's the best, going to be the first miss, but due to accuracy differences alone, Virginia's going to be holding onto that score lead just barely, but followed up by that Gray miss, just Sidetracked Day. Seoul FC remaining, but then North Carolina, Calculus, Noob, and Woeister all falling, but so did Sidetracked Day. Your chance in order to just pull this away right away after the break, gone. But don't worry, Pie is the best is going to be on that recovery combo. They might not be FCing, but this 350 combo lead is going to start pulling some score into their favor. But as I say that, we're going to be finding a break on some of those techie patterns that I was talking about. So now Calculus, the sole combo remaining in the lobby, and it's going to flip back to North Carolina just so ever slightly, as Calculus is just running away with this. Really starting to build up some score the longer it goes on. But even so, is that enough? The accuracy on the side of Virginia. Those act drops are coming to bite them. The accuracy lead alone is pretty much taking this into the side of Virginia. Is there enough time left for Convex to pull it back for their team? I think the combo axe is too much. 27K. How did they win that pick? That felt like no team was in the lead at any point in time ever, flopping back and forth between both teams. A real nail biter of that DT4. And Sidetrack Day, what a perfect time for you to have the greatest act of your life. Really valiant effort from both teams. And now we're looking to North Carolina A. Virginia A gonna be at match point, backs against the wall in loser's bracket. your chance to keep playing in this tournament. What do we pick? Virginia has secured a tiebreaker at the very least. And we're getting a DT1 almost insta-pick. Now, what I was talking about with that AR uncomfortability, we might see some of that coming into play here, perhaps for some players. As 10.3, I mean, at this level of play, we're going to be expecting, if a team can field a roster of 3, that the majority of the players for that DT1 would hopefully be comfortable with that 10.3. But who knows? It could happen. Qualifiers did not have a 10.3, so this is kind of a gray zone. I'm unsure if anyone's going to have problems with this. Getting into some statistics, it's a 240 BPM map. It's about 2 minutes and 25 seconds of length. And obviously I was talking about its AR for quite a while on that, with an OD of 9.8. This map, it's not very difficult to aim per se. Personally, as a aim player who, let's say, might have some difficulties with tapping, I have found some difficulty in quite a number of these bursts and short streams in this map, because at 240 BPM, they catch you off guard, especially if you're not used to that 10.3, and it can just come and absolutely neuter a score. Hopefully this will be happening to none of these players in this lobby, as North Carolina going to be fielding their GOATs, Calculus, Noob, Woeister, and Virginia A going to be following in tow with Gray, Pi is the best, and Alex the JPEG. Good luck, have fun's coming out, and we're going to be getting right into this. As soon as Bancho lets us have our fun. Yeah, we're going to be seeing just a very, very slight early ACK lead to the side of Virginia A. Nothing crazy. This map is relatively long for a DT. Nothing super crazy. Woeister going to be finding the first miss of the lobby so early on in the map that he shouldn't score cap you too much. You'll only really be worried about it if you're going into triple FC. As we're going to be finding another miss, as Virginia A going to be holding on pretty comfortably to the triple FC about a quarter of the way into the map. Calculus and Noob following suit with their FCs. Gray and Pi is the best going to be finding a miss on one of those early jump sections about a quarter way into the map. That is not a great place to miss. If you're going to miss anywhere, it's not the worst, but especially a break happening right after, showing Calculus and Noob that their FCs are holding, and that if they hold on to a little bit longer, they will be building up a pretty good score lead here, especially with the accuracy of 99.3 and climbing on the side of Noob. His comfortability, their comfortability, just showing so much here. And Alex the JPEG going to be the last FC on the side of Virginia that broke? What do we break on? I mean, that section is pretty tricky, but now it's just going to be Calculus and Noob absolutely running away with this DT1 pick, as we see this score lead just absolutely shoot onto the side of North Carolina A, and they are not looking to give an inch here. They are taking this and they are running away. And Woeister, not to be left out, good recovery combo, even matching Gray's recovery combo out. Noob finally with the miss, followed up by Calculus. But this is still so North Carolina favored. Even if Woeister breaks right now, I don't think that there's enough combo left in the map for Virginia to pull this back. This is pretty done and dusted. Well, my theory might get tested, guys. It's going pretty fast. I don't think there's enough map left, though. Oh, the Noob missing. I mean, Pi missing is going to be helpful for Virginia here if you're trying to get the point. Wait, another miss from Noob. No, there's not. There's just not. Yeah. Virginia trying to claw that back into their favor, and they got pretty far. I mean, it was 400, 500K at a certain point score lead on the side of North Carolina A. So the fact that you're bringing it down to 200,000 just goes to show that they got that fight in them. They got that dog in them still. And this is very scary, as Virginia at match point going to be going into their own pick, their last pick of the match. What can we expect it to be? Could we see some slider focused precision? A flex one? That sounds kind of crazy, but there's a potential. They are 8.7, which does kind of limit it from some players who might not be the best at reading, perhaps. Which could make it less of an enticing pick, as we saw a Hard Rock 2 ban from North Carolina. And it's going to be DT4. That's not going to be what I was expecting at all. A flow control map. I mean, they did win the no mod too. Now this is... Wait, it's only 180 BPM after double time? I mean... Not bad. These guys, back-to-back DT picks, picking all the rest of the DT pool at the very end of this match. And I will be expecting for some players to go out, test out their DT4 skills a little bit, dip their toes in the water. I'd expect, see, this is a really tough place to be for North Carolina A, because likely as DT1 was being played, I'd assume if they had any new players for this DT4 that they're going to be having the players step out and playing the map and getting super, super warm on it for a pretty lengthy amount of time. You can finish a full run while this DT1's going. As I'll talk a bit more about map stats, obviously, I talked about how it was 180 BPM, flow controlling map. It's going to be the longest DT pick in the pool, 2 minutes and 49 seconds after double time is applied with an AR of 10. So AR 10, some players tend to have trouble reading it because it is considered reasonably fast for an AR. But usually AR-10 is not particularly prohibitive. And we are going to be seeing Wozu, Noob, Calculus in the side of North Carolina A. For Virginia A, Pi is the best gray, and Sidetracked Day going to be stepping in here for this DT4. I believe this is the first time that we've seen Wozu in the lobby. Sorry if you have been in previously and I was unaware. But excited to see your scores. All right, good luck, have fun's coming out. So we should be seeing this map pretty soon here. This DT4 high key attack map. Well, unfortunately, I am unaware of your game. On my team, I play the 1 slots, and that's all we do. Hopefully the match is currently not being played and we're just seeing a little bit of a break here as we are trying to see what is happening. Just shaking with anticipation for what's going to be happening here. So excited to see this. All right, and we are joining about halfway through, which is a little bit unfortunate. But luckily, looks like no shortage of drama going to be happening in this match. Although it seems we may have joined at a unfortunate time, as Calculus and Wozu breaking here halfway through the map, while the entire side of Virginia A going to be holding on to a double FC, but basically a triple FC with Gray just barely lacking in that combo behind. Noob going to be the only combo left for North Carolina A. Frowny face indeed, as they're 500,000 points ahead here. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but for Virginia A to lose, they have to have a full reset. That's a start. Buys the best is a start. Now Gray has to follow up. Actually, no. Sidetrack day. well, this looks really bad for me if you believe in commentators, Curse. We're gonna have Gray follow up on that break. But unfortunately, the damage is already done. I am so sorry for trolling your guys' scores. This does look bad for me. That is a crazy team score. GG's all around. And I'm so sorry, North Carolina. As this is losers bracket, this is where you shall rest. Good game. Really fun match to commentate, guys. Virginia A, I mean, saving one of the strongest for last, right? Gonna be matching that up. GG's, Virginia A. Very much looking forward to seeing how you guys perform against. Let me see if I can figure out who they're going to be facing. Virginia A going to be going on to face the winner of Illinois A versus Arizona A. So they still have a match to go this week. And I mean, really, really good showing from North Carolina A this year. 11th seed going out this early is just devious. Just absolutely devious. These guys are fantastic team. 5-0ing Oregon A, round of 1, and going 6-4 against Connecticut A, really very solidly impressive performance. I mean, and what we've seen today as well, this score looks, the score looks close, and the maps were even closer. So, good games, guys. Really, really excited and glad that I was able to cast with you guys. Another stream should be starting up relatively soon here, so make sure to stay around.
Because